everyone, welcome back. My name is Heather, this is Altered Digital, and today we'll need a Gorgeous ball. Some people call this a purple squishy ball. If you don't have one of these items, you can use a rolled up towel. This is our spring season of movement, a full body movement experience. We're going to start in a seated shape, so we will begin. If you'd like to use the playlist that goes along with this class, you can find that in the description. So let's go ahead and start the playlist. And we'll find our comfortable seat. Eyes can be opened or closed as always. And we're going to start with a right nostril breath today. So we're going to close our left nostril with the left hand. We're going to take a couple minutes to breathe in and out of just the right side. So we're doing this breath technique as a way to activate, as a way to bring some focus in to our spring season of movement, this full body class, and just to be in the experiment of what is it like to take a couple minutes for yourself to breathe in and out of the right side, and what do we notice? What do we notice shifting, changing when we practice this for a couple minutes, and then when we do it more often, right? More days throughout the week, more days throughout the month. What starts to shift, what starts to change, subtle changes all the way to larger energy shifts. Just notice what's true for you over the next couple minutes of time as we arrive into this practice together. As always, this reminder to invite the breath to be low in the torso, so we're feeling some motion in and around the navel, into the side waist, into the lower back, this 3D breath. Resting the tongue at the roof of the mouth. See if the breath can be quiet and slow and deep or low in the torso as we breathe in and out of this right side, to be enticed by this light sense of touch we're feeling of the air coming in and out of this right side. Good, and then from here, let's release that left nostril. And now that sense of touch coming in and out of both sides. And notice any subtle shifts after a couple minutes of that right nostril breath. That tends to be, again, more of an activating breath, more of a breath that can help us to focus and give us maybe a little pep in our step when and if we need that. And utilizing that at the beginning of this practice as a way to enliven and activate on a subtle level, and we'll move that activation throughout the body. Now moving into some bigger movement. So let's come on to hands and knees, nice and gentle. And we'll start with just movement through your neck. So it doesn't have to look just like mine. You might have your eyes closed if that feels okay for you. We're going to consider keeping the spine, so from the shoulders into the pelvis, nice and steady, and just moving through your neck and your head. Small ways, big ways, just as a way to come into some bigger sensations of stretch. You might look past one shoulder and then the other shoulder, do some big circular motions. Just a little bit of freedom here as we're coming into this first part of some motion in our bodies. Let it feel good for you. Feel free to change your hand shape if your hands get tired in that position. And then we're going to keep the head now in one shape and start to move. See if we can move from the rib cage. So the ribs shift or shear over to one side and then to the other side. And you'll notice your body weight might be shifting a little bit side to side with this. Some different parts of your upper back or lower back might be moving, but this focal point of your motion coming from your rib cage, a little side to side. See if you can drop the lower ribs down and then push the back of the ribs up toward the ceiling or the sky. And then seeing if you can take that middle part of you in a subtle circular shape. So our focal point for our spring season of movement is the whole of the trunk from the shoulders into the pelvis. And we're just trying to tune into this middle part here, the middle part of your trunk, and letting motion happen from there and then outward into different parts of our spine. And then let's start to purposely let the elbows and the pelvis come into this circular motion. So yes, the ribs are drawing the circle, and then the hips and the shoulders. And then we'll start to add the neck and the head as well. So we'll just do this a couple times, either direction here. And again, not trying to care so much what it looks like, but this feeling of your back body, your spine, your hips, all the way into the upper back, the side waist, the front of the body, just giving some attention to the whole of the trunk, moving through space now. Good. Staying with your nose breath. If you haven't already, I'm going to invite you to start to shift your body weight a little forward and back as you stay with some of that motion through, again, the middle part of you, your spine, moving in different ways, novel ways, maybe even some awkward ways as we're warming up here. Let's start to curl the toes under. We're going to push the bum back toward your heels and feel a little stretch underneath your toes and the soles of your feet. And then keeping the arms straight, we'll shift the shoulders a little forward of the wrists. We'll just do this 2 more times, shifting the body weight back and shifting forward. Now keeping your trunk nice and neutral, no cat-cowing in the spine. We just try to keep the trunk as steady as possible as we shift forward and back. Good, let's come back to center and bring the knees a little wider than hip bone distance. We're going to take the feet over to the right side and slowly lower the bum over to the left side. And feel a little stretch through your left side body as you lower down, and then we sit upright. We're going to come right back onto hands and knees, and we'll shift the feet over to the left, and the bum goes over to the right. Give a little bigger stretch out through that right arm as you sit down, and we bring the torso upright. Good. From here, we're going to spin the legs out in front of you, lean back into your hands, and start to turn the thighs out. So the toes point out, and then we'll turn the toes to point in, and we'll do this a couple times, in and out from here. From this position, let's lift that right leg up, and we're going to bend the knee, and we're going to bring the sole of the foot toward that inner left thigh. With control, we lift that knee back up, straighten the leg. The leg is slightly externally rotated as it lowers down, and we'll try this on the left side. And we'll do this one more time on each side. So we lift, we bend the knee without using our hands, put the foot down wherever it lands. Yes, we bend that, keep the knee bent, and open the leg back out. One more time here on the right, if you can sit up a little bit taller and still feel in control, controlling the weight of your leg coming in and back out. We do this. If that feels a little too fiery in the quads and in those hip flexors, you stay leaning back. Yeah? Good. Good. And then from here, let's keep the left sole of the foot into that right inner thigh. And here's this transition we're going to play with today. We're going to take the right toes and point them straight forward. And we're going to see if we can lift ourselves and put our body weight into that right foot. So we might need to use a whole lot of the hands to do this. Yes, and we lower onto the bum. We're going to take this right thigh behind you so our legs go towards these 90-degree angle positions. I want you to find the spot for you where you feel a little more steady in your hips. So some of you might be able to have those shins far away from the pelvis. Some of us might be a little closer in. We'll have the hands on the floor and turn toward that right foot. And then let's use the awareness of our trunk, the whole of the trunk turning toward that left knee, and I want you to reach out through your right arm. And then from here, we bring the trunk to face forward, the torso facing forward, and we send that right foot forward and we lunge into this once again, leaning, leaning, leaning. Good. Again, let's take it down to the bum. That right thigh pivots behind you, and we turn, maybe now with no hands if possible, the trunk toward that right knee. Or turn from the hips into the pelvis toward the left knee. Try to keep your neck in line with the rest of the spine. We turn the trunk forward. We step that right foot forward, maybe with no hands. If you've been doing this for a while, we come up onto that right foot. Good. And then from here, we bring the bum down and we take this right leg straight out to the side. I want you to turn the whole of your trunk toward your left knee. And we're going to reach the right hand toward the right toes and reach the left arm straight up. Let's lift the gaze upright, and then we'll pull the gaze down toward the right toes and take your lower left ribs and reach those toward your right pinky toe. Keep reaching out a little longer through that left arm. Good. Take a breath in and we'll rotate back open. Very nice. From here, we're going to take this left hand behind you. Right arm reaches straight forward. Option to take a little back bend, keeping your bum on the floor. Option 2, we lift the bum and lift the hips upright and take a little squeeze into the middle part of your back as you open into your front body. Good. From here, let's lower the bum down. If it was lifted, we're going to take that right foot forward and we're coming back into this lunge position, both hands inside the front foot. Now we're going to spin the left shin straight back. We'll come on to the fingertips. If you have blocks or anything you want to put your hands on, you could also add that here at this point. I'm going to keep my fingertips on the ground and lift off of that left knee. Lunging deeply into the right knee, engage your bum as you let your hips sink down. Hold here for a breath in and out. Good. From here, we're going to spin the left heel over to the right side, lift your bum, and let your spine, whole of the spine, bend forward. Then we're going to come in and out of these two shapes. We spin off of this left heel, lunge into that right knee. Let the hips sink as you engage around your hips here. Squeeze into the bum, all the muscles around your hips, and notice that your spine's a little more on the straight side. And then we do the opposite with the trunk as we spin that left heel down. Maybe a little less body weight on your hands here. One more time, we come into that low lunge. Yeah. Good. And then we're going to come all the way back down to the floor from this position. So we're going to bring that left knee down, spin the left shin over to the right side. With control, we lower onto the bum. This time we take that right leg straight out to the side like it was earlier. Turn the trunk to the left. Let's take a nice side body stretch left side. And then we'll take the left hand behind you. Right arm reaches forward. Again, option, keep the bum down. Or we lift the bum and take this back bend. Feeling like we're engaging into the back body to help open into the front. Excellent. We'll spin all the way down. From this position, both feet go over to your right side. Yes, we're going to come up onto hands and knees and down onto our forearms. Take a couple cat-cow motions in your spine right here. Bending and rounding. We're on our forearms, moving from the crown of the head into that tailbone. Yes. Back bending, forward bending. And then from here, I want you to find that neutral position in your spine. Gaze is straight down, sense that your neck comes in line with the rest of the spine, and see if we can start to walk the knees a little farther back. Knees a little farther back until we're in a plank position with our knees down. Pressing the floor away, maybe feeling a slight tuck of the bum if that feels helpful for your lower back. And options, you can stay right here Be guided by your nose breath, that full sense of expansion around the lower torso, that slight cinching in of the side waist muscles as we're exhaling. Other options, we could lift off of the knees for a few seconds and then gently tap those knees back down. We could start sweating like me because that's happening right now at the moment. Big time. And my partner loves when I start talking about this while I'm practicing. You know, we just got to be real. Sometimes you sweat when you're doing movement. I mean, hopefully we are. We're activating a bit, right? That's the intention of this class. Good. Let's bring the knees down. We're going to cross the forearms in front of the body, right forearm in front of the left. We're to take our side planking side to side. Remember this from our last class. Yes. We're going to take the top leg up. That bottom shin shifts over to the side, top arm goes up. And let's just play with this going a little side to side. So forearm goes down, left knee down, left shin pivots behind you, right leg goes straight back. And we reach top arm, top leg all the way up. And let's try it one more side to side here. Always the options, you could stay centered. You could say no thank you to the side plank. You can continue flowing side to side at a bit of a faster pace than I'm going. That last option, maybe both of those legs are straight at this point and you're lifted out of that bottom side waist. So find your flavor here, going over to that left side. Good. Good. And then from here, let's come onto the forearms once again, onto those knees. Find a child's pose or a downward facing dog, few breaths. Excellent. From here, we'll shift the feet over to the left side. We'll come up onto the bum once again. We'll take those legs out in front of you, hands behind you, legs nice and wide. Yeah, from here, right leg. Right leg lifts, we bend that knee in, again, without using the hands, sole of the foot goes to that left inner thigh. Left foot steps forward, let's try it 3 times coming into this shape. Letting that knee come over the ankle and trying to keep your left heel down as you do this. Hands go to the floor. We take that left shin all the way, left thigh all the way back. Let's keep the hands on the floor for this first time, taking that twist through the trunk all the way through the neck. And then we'll turn toward this right knee. And then we'll turn the whole of the trunk forward. Yeah, more and more familiar, hopefully, right, over time. More and more that we practice this things. If this is new and way unfamiliar, try not to get frustrated with yourself. Learning new things can be challenging, but we just take it at the pace that we can. We use the support that we need with our hands as we're moving. Legs are down. We turn the trunk to the back. We turn forward toward that right knee, pressing those legs into the floor. We turn the trunk forward. Toes, left toes point straight forward. Again, we're purposely allowing that knee to come forward of the ankle as long as everything says yes to this in your body. Last time here. Right thigh, left thigh goes behind you. We take that big turn. And as we're turning forward this time, we're going to take that left thigh straight out to the side. I'm going to ground down through both of our sitting bones. So you might lift up for a moment, back down, turn the trunk toward your right knee, reaching left hand toward left toes, right arm goes straight up. Gaze toward those right fingertips. And gaze down toward left foot. Good. From here, that right hand's going to go behind you. Same options. Bum stays down. We take this upper back bend from a seated shape. Option 2, we press down into that right hand to lift the hips, to open into the front, to curl into the back body. See how it feels. Let the weight of the head dip back. Excellent. Good. From here, very nice. We're going to take this trunk forward, left foot forward. We're going to come right into that low lunge position. Once again, hands inside of the front foot. We're spinning that right shin straight back, and we're lifting off of right knee for our low lunge here. Little squeeze into the legs, into the hips as we let the pelvis dip down. Right shin is going to spin over to the left side as we fold inward toward that left shin, weight of the head dropping down, shoulders as well. Let's do these two shapes 2 more times. We spin off of right heel, lunging forward. That left heel stays down. Again, feel some engagement around the pelvis, lower back, bum as we're sinking the hips. And notice how your trunk, your spine is going to do the opposite shape. We let some of the weight of the torso, the crown of the head, and the shoulders fold inward. Good. From here, hands go again inside that front foot. If they were lifted away from the floor, sink into that low lunge. And then toward this pyramid pose, if you're familiar with that shape in your yoga practice. Excellent. From here, right heel spins upright, up toward the, or just up away from the floor, we'll say. Right knee goes down. Right shin over to the left side. Control your body weight onto the ground. Yes, that left thigh goes straight out to the side. One more time, turn your trunk toward that right knee. We take our side bend here. And we take that right hand behind you and we lift upright, if you like, or keep the bum on the ground. Excellent. Let's try it one more time. Taking the bum down, that left thigh goes behind you. Take a big turn of your trunk backwards and all the way forward toward that right knee. And then from here, let's keep both feet over to that left side, but we'll go towards a stacking of the knees. We'll come up onto hands and knees from here. And we're going to come into our downward facing dog shape. So a little option here with this song just to start to add a little bit of bouncing, a little bit of shaking, a little bit of wiggling out of the bum, of the shoulders, to move your body in some free-flowing ways as it feels delicious or juicy, or we'll say maybe a little more activating at this point in the practice. So you could do a little bit of flowing motion if you're familiar with that from your yoga practice, a little bit of shaking out of the legs, bouncing of the heels, bending and straightening of those knees a few times. Another fun option, if you want some invitations from me, is to come down on your back and just give a big and a shake, wiggle, full flush out of the body. Sometimes do this standing, you can do this on your back, you can do this seated, but some way that you're not moving like you always do. Again, it might feel a little bit awkward, like what the heck are we doing? But just sensing this bit of an opportunity to go into more of a activated state, kind of like all the cells are going to have this huge dance party inside. We're getting everything to bounce and to move and to shake and to dance and to wiggle around for a few more seconds. Again, it can look like mine. It can look like standing up and dancing. It could look like using some feedback of the floor to get some bouncing into the various parts of the body that you might just tend to hold more tension than other parts. Just move around your mat different ways. A little more activating. And those big shakes can be really, really, really helpful. Kind of flushing it out. If you were like considering the next few more seconds of the practice, like juice you up for the rest of the day or the rest of the month or the rest of the season that you're living in, how to do that, how to kind of embody that sense of activation, becoming enlivened from how we move our bodies. Yeah. And then let's together come onto hands and knees. If you're not already, we'll shift back towards a child's pose or stay in a downward facing dog and take 2 balanced breaths here. 5 count in and 5 count out. From this position, hands and knees, we're going to shift the feet over to one side. We're going to bring our gorgeous ball into this practice. Legs go out in front of you. We do our attire adjustments if needed, hair adjustments if needed, feet out in front, gorgeous ball behind you, right underneath those low ribs. Your knees are going to stay bent. Hands are going to go behind your head. Yeah, so let's start with just an awareness of what the lower spine, we'll say the lower trunk is doing. I want to see that the lower trunk and the upper trunk are moving together. So we're going to take as big of a back bend through your lower back and upper back as feels good in your body. A bit of this forward bend. And then I want you to stay now grounded through the lower part of your back. So what I mean by that is we're going to stay a little more stable, a little less motion now in the lower part of your spine. And we're going to concentrate a little more awareness here in the upper part of our spine. If you've been following along with our spring season of movement, this will be very familiar to you. If you haven't taken some of our other classes, this will be brand new. We're all going to do it together, a little bit of flexion over the ball. So we think of this rounding into just the upper back and a little bit of extension or back bending over that ball. Again, try not to let your lower spine go with you. Do this one more time. Practice with your elbows wide right now. And then we're going to change up the elbow position. Let's bring the elbows in toward one another, upper arms toward the ears. And we're going to take a bit of a circular motion around this ball. Again, lower spine staying as steady as possible as we take that upper spine in this circle. Ribs, upper back, chest, all moving together. Couple times each direction. Your hands are holding the weight of your head, yeah? Try not to feel your neck having to work so hard here. A little bit of the core, that ball is supporting lots of your upper body weight here. And we're just kind of flowing around the ball. That's it. Good. Good, and then let's center the trunk. We're going to push into the feet to slide that ball down the back a little bit. So right in between those shoulder blades. So we're going to see if we can find a spot where the back of the head comes onto the floor. The arms go out to the sides. Feet go wide and the thighs fall in toward one another. And take 3 balanced breaths here, breathing in for a count of 5. Out for a count of 5. In for 5. And breath out for 5. One more time like this. That's it. Good. Let's bring the knees to point right back up. We're going to curl our spine over that ball. Option to use your hands reaching towards your knees and lift up from here. Take a hold of your thighs and curl all the way up to your seated shape. Those legs are going to go wide once again. The knees can stay bent or the legs can go fully straight. I want you to flex your spine, round your spine all the way forward, letting the weight of the head drop down here. Excellent. From this position, we're going to sit back upright. We're going to take that ball behind you even a little farther, and we're going to roll down on the spine and hug the knees into the chest. The ball's going to be underneath your head this time. Relax your feet. Knees can be narrow or nice and wide depending on how that feels for your hips and your belly and your chest. And take a little rock side to side for the lower back. Good. From this position, we're going to bring the left foot down to the ground and interlace the fingers behind your right thigh and reach your right leg straight up. Yes, we'll point through the toes and press through the pinky side edge of the foot. It's going to rotate the pinky side edge of the foot toward the left side and then point through the toes and point those toes away from the face. Let's try that again. I feel like that was a little unclear. So we're going to press the thigh, right thigh into your hands. So we have lots of activation, engagement in that right leg. Look up at your right toes, point the toes up toward the ceiling, and then rotate through the pinky side edge of your foot. Bring that foot back to center. We're going to rebend the knee and let everything relax for a moment. Then we're going to try that again. Thigh pressing into your hands. Right, toes are reaching toward the knee to start off with. Toes away from the knee, point through the top of the foot, reach for the pinky side edge of the foot. Hold there. Try not to rotate through the lower leg, knee, or thigh. That's it. Back to center we go. Relax through that knee. Hug it in towards you. Good. We're going to straighten that leg all the way down to the floor and give that knee a big bounce, 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 bounce. Last little flush out, right leg, up and down, up and down. Take that leg in and out, right to left, right to left, right to left, fast, fast, fast. And then let the whole weight of that right leg drop. Put your arms on the ground, your head supported by that ball. Okay, let's rebend that right knee. And we'll try this on the left side. So left knee comes in, interlace fingers behind that left thigh. And as the leg goes straight, I want you to push your thigh into your hand strong. So almost so much that your arms might go straight. Toes are reaching toward the face. And then point the toes away from the face. As you do that, rotate through the pinky side edge of that left foot. Bring the foot back to center. Nice job. Relax through the knee. Let everything soften all the way into those toes. Good, one more time. We'll do this 2 more times. We straighten out the leg, right? Push, 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 push. Point through the top of the foot, rotate through the pinky side edge of the foot. Hold there a few seconds. That's it. Rotate back to center and relax it down. And let's try this one more time. Same leg goes straight. Thigh into hands, a big press through the top of the foot, rotate without rotating shin bone or knee or thigh. And then good, relax that all the way down. Left thigh in toward the belly there, and then straighten that leg all the way out. Give a bounce from the knee all the way up into the hip. Feel some of the muscles sort of wiggling, jiggling around, up and down, let loose. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Not engaged in any way through that leg, just bouncing it out, shaking it out. And then let the weight of the leg drop down. Arms to your sides in a comfortable way. Let's follow that right leg to meet the left one. Legs are straight, arms out to the sides. Feel free to make any adjustments for your spine. And then we'll start to shift the head a little side to side here, turning the head over to your right arm. Back to center and over toward that left arm all the way. Little press of your head into that ball as you turn. And options from here, as we turn our head to the right, we're going to rainbow this left arm up and over your body. And take a little lift of the head off of the ball and keep rotating and reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching. And then we rotate all the way onto the back. You can do this with or without the ball. I might try it without the ball for a moment and see how that goes. So we turn the head to the left. A big rainbow of this right arm up and over the body. We lift the head and feel that rotation from the middle part of you, middle of the trunk, all the way out through those right fingertips. And then we come all the way back to center here. Good. From this position, we're going to bend the knees. One more time, hug the knees into the chest. We'll add a little circle for our thighs. And let the trunk kind of roll around with the thighs, right? So the trunk and the hips and the thighs are all circling together here. And then option, one of my favorite positions that I'll invite you to rest into with that courgeous ball. I know this as the iliacus release. So we lift up into a small bridge. We take that squishy ball underneath your tailbone or your sitting bones. Again, you could do this with a block or with a rolled up towel, sort of a big firm pillow you could try it out with. And so we want to find a spot where that prop is going to help to tilt our hip bones toward the low ribs, and we relax into that. Some of our body weight is held by that prop. So you can try it out, see how this feels in your body. You'll notice that your body weight is pushed toward the back of your shoulders. Your knees stay bent in this shape. Feel free to bring one hand to the low belly, somewhere along your lower torso as a reminder to keep the breath low. And invite you to take your right hand to your right nostril, and we're going to start to breathe in and out of just the left side. So coming full circle in the beginning of class here, where we are breathing in and out of the right side as a way to activate and focus. This breathing in and out of the left side is going to give us the opposite sort of experience, internal experience. It's more related to our parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest, this way to calm all the internal rhythms. And again, this invitation to be in the experiment for yourself. A few minutes of time here, left nostril breath. See if you can make the breath a little more quiet and subtle as you continue to rest here. This reminder to listen to your body in the way of saying yes to whatever shape it desires to be in, not forcing yourself to be in any certain shape or way, especially here at the beginning, or at the, at the end of the practice. A way to be natural with yourself, an opportunity to practice saying yes to the shape your body desires to rest into. Need to itch, please itch it. If you need more layers or less layers or a quick sip of water, you can come right back into the practice. We move towards a few minutes of restoration and integration here. I invite you to stay or come back to your left nostril breath for one more minute of time here together. So let's release that right hand. If you're still on that gorgeous ball in some way or some prop is underneath you, I'll invite you to release that to the side. As always, if you have a little extra time, encouragement to stay for a few more minutes of integration and rest. If it's time to shift into the rest of your day, let's take a slow transition. Taking a gentle twist side to side. Any delicious twist that you enjoy in your body. I personally tend to love that windshield wiper motion side to side where the feet are wide and the knees are wide and we're taking the legs, rotating the hips side to side. I'll invite you to end the practice with me in a seated position of some sort. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're curious about our other spring season of movement classes, short classes for specific parts of the trunk, connection to some sense of mobility and strength in these different areas, you can find links to those classes in the description of this class. And we look forward to seeing you next time.